Howdy, my name is Samuel Franks and I'm an undergrad forensics major, and I'm here to teach you about significant figures using Dungeons & Dragons. Well, what are significant figures? First, how do you use significant figures? What are they? How do you add and subtract them? Here's what you need to know. Significant figures are used to measure to a degree of certainty when performing calculations, as numbers and values can, and often do, get lost during experiments. All non-zero numbers are significant. Captive zeros are significant. Trailing zeros are significant when there is a decimal point, and leading zeros are never significant. The final rule is that exact numbers have infinite significant figures, but we're going to discard that for now as we're going to be using dice as our example. The game has begun in Dungeons & Dragons, and you are a swordmaster and magic user. The DM has stated that goblins have appeared in your way. You decide to use the powerful spell Fireball to dispatch them, which does 8d6 damage. After rolling the 8d6, you now must add them up, and when you add them up, you have acquired 3. However, we're working with significant figures here, so we want to be as accurate as possible. So when working with significant figures and adding or subtracting them, you go to the highest decimal point. Here, the highest decimal point is the ones place, so it would be 33. However, remember, be sure to include a decimal point in all calculated results. Next, the DM has stated after casting Fireball, you have disposed of most of the goblins, but there's still one left. So you pull out your longsword, which does 1d8 damage, to hit it. And after rolling a 20 to hit, a critical hit, you can now do double damage, meaning your damage is multiplied by 2. So rolling the d8, you have acquired 7, which normally would give you 14. But because we're working with significant figures, we want to be sure we're working accurately when multiplying. When multiplying or dividing numbers during calculations, you want to follow the rule of the smallest amount of significant figures. So here, 7 multiplied by 2 may be 14, but 7 only has one significant figure. So we need to reduce 14 to one significant figure. Normally, we can go just without decimal and use simple rounding. 14 will go to 10. But without a decimal point, it looks unprofessional and unscientific. So we can use scientific notation to represent it. That is, we take our 10, which has 2 significant figures with a decimal point, reduce it by 2 degrees to be 0.1, as leading zeros are not significant, with one significant figure, and then multiply it by 10 to the power of 2, meaning that it is represented by 10. However, remember, when working with numbers that are calculated values, be sure to add units to know what we're working with. In this case, we'll use damage.